You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Hi everyone, this is the Ask Annie podcast, Horse Girl reviews on products you use. This episode is brought to you by ID LifeSavers. Let's face it, when it's just you and your horse together, that's pure joy. But occasionally, unexpected events do occur, and you may need some help. In those instances, the Equine Trail ID and Rescue LifeSaver kits become your valued riding sidekicks. The 3-in-1 kit pouches contain critical helmet and belt loop med IDs, plus mini search and rescue tools, all immediately available at your fingertips. Your horse has its own saddle attached at a pouch. The kit, designed by Dr. Gaston, is available for $19 at idlifesavers.com. Please contact him at lou@idlifesavers.com. Dr. Gaston is the president of Medical Emergency Data Systems, Inc., a company focused on making prominent medical information standard in helmet-wearing activities. Dr. Gaston graduated from the Physician's Assistant Program at Alderson Broaddus University in West Virginia, and then went on to receive his Doctor of Chiropractic from Sherman Chiropractic College. He then served in the U.S. Army and worked for the U.S. Department of Justice. While serving as the medical director for a long-distance bike ride nearly 3 decades ago, he came up with the idea for medical emergency data systems and hasn't looked back. Thank you for joining me today, Dr. Gaston.
Thank you, Annie. That was quite a spaghetti dish that you handed out everybody there. It's I'm just a regular guy, just trying to make a difference, make life a little bit easier for everybody out there.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to jump in and examine your product and really get the inside scoop on it. So first things first, what is the medical emergency data systems and the medical information carrier?
Well, medical emergency data systems, essentially, we're a very small company. And the goal is to provide a simplistic, inexpensive, yet invaluable way to save lives by providing critical medical information anywhere, anytime. It's very low tech materials, however, but very functional because it has to work. I wanted to get as close to being as fail-safe as possible. So that's the essence of the company, and the medical information carrier system. That was our original concept, original design. It occurred years ago when I was the medical director for Governor Tom Ridge's Keystone Bike Ride. And there were instances where our riders went down and all I had on them was a sheet of paper in a manila folder, and I'm rifling through it. And it really was a non-functional system. So a state trooper and I, over the proverbial, on a proverbial napkin in a bar, put this thing together, and it has evolved far beyond our expectations. So, saving some lives along the way, which we're very excited about. Plus, also this particular kit, we partner with workers with disabilities. They do all of our packaging and getting ready to ship, and so they are an integral part of what we're doing. So I couldn't do this without them. So they are a major player. And if you'd like to hear kind of a real quick sidebar on this, when I came back from Iraq, I had an opportunity with a business partner to design a combat seat for the gunners in the Humvees. And we worked with Picatinny Arsenal, but what we did was we utilized a progressive workshop, the workers there, to do all of our assembly and packaging. And when they came up with an original price, we didn't like the price. We thought it was not enough. So we went back to them and said, what do you think about if we gave you an extra $1 per seat? And though certainly they were excited. And that money, however, was to go for Christmas gifts, parties, picnics, outside events, was strictly for the workers. We ended up shipping 43,000 of those. So they had $43,000 for them to have a heck of a lot of fun with. One Christmas, we gave them watches with a Humvee on them. So it was very, very, very cool. Even a Braille Humvee for the workers that were blind. So it has been a great experience. It's certainly been an inspirational experience for me.
I'll say, my goodness. So getting into the product, you have the new product specifically designed for equestrians, the LifeSAVER Medical ID Plus Mini Rescue Kit. Can you tell us why this kit is tailored to trail riders and endurance riders specifically?
Well, it has the basic fundamental information. That's if something untoward should happen, it's imperative that responders know that you're taking a particular medication, you have a certain allergy. Basically, it's really we try to come up with as close as we can to a mini personal medical record. And we all need that because there's so many medications now. Everybody seems like everybody's on meds, and the histories are certainly critical. That's one part of it. But what I've done was, in addition to the basic medical information, and this information is on a form that the rider would print their information, used preferably with a pencil. And this also is waterproof and tear resistant. But combined with that, I have two additional parts that go into high vis orange plastic pouch that attaches to a belt loop and with a stainless steel carabiner. But inside that pouch, not only is there the medical data form, but there is a reflective mirror for rescue, and there's also 3 feet of a high-vis holographic reflective tape that is a trail marker, and it's all contained in this kit that weighs about 0.4 of an ounce. So it's very lightweight. And in talking to my mentors, my equine mentors, they suggested, how about something similar for on the saddle? And again, this is geared primarily to the endurance riders, the trail riders, being out and away from, say, an arena or really where rescuers would have to be called in, whether it be aircraft, drones, search and rescue on the ground, that in those specific scenarios. So that is the essence of that form. It's really a hybrid of wilderness medicine and search and rescue. It's what I did. I just integrated the two into one pouch.
Yeah, but again, really, really tailored for that person that's out on a trail, maybe by themselves or in a small group. And yeah, like you said, away from civilization, for a lack of better
Sure.
terms.
Very simplistic. It has to be simplistic as well. And I tried to make it, that was my goal, is to make it so incredibly user-friendly.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that the medical information is written on like a non-tearable piece of paper, but what other key features make this product so critical for the safety of riders?
Well, if you're riding along and you happen to fall in the water, the total system is waterproof. So a lot of people tend to rely on phones and some electronic devices, which is great, but there's certain issues that can occur. We try to offset that by there's really very little that can adversely affect this. And the key is that we're not relying on electronics that may or sometimes often have a propensity to fail. This system, you really you hold it in your hands and you read the information that is necessary. And it's ridiculously simple, but very, very functional.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think at this day and age, maybe we sometimes get a little bit too techie, and really the safety is in the simplicity.
Well, to be honest with you, I can't drive. I'm here in Western Pennsylvania. I can't drive more than 5 miles without dropping a call.
Mhm.
And when you're again in a critical incident, you don't. That's not an option. You don't. You have to. It has to be, like I said, close to fail safe as possible. And I mean, the technology is wonderful when it works, but I don't. And here's the great thing about it is my system in conjunction with technology is exponentially great. So there's utilizing the two together that provides the optimum uh, capabilities for rescue and essentially treatment of a person that should happen to uh, come across an unfortunate occurrence.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've talked about the LifeSaver Medical ID and the mini rescue kit, but how has it been received by health professionals like paramedics or hospital workers?
Well, this system is brand new. This is totally new. Now, the other helmet systems that we put out there. Um, I think the key here is the if you look at the system, the helmet system, we have the logo, and it's an EMS logo, which essentially is an EMS identifier. And the EMS providers, they tend to look because there's so many variables out there. There's medical alert, and there's a myriad of them. So we what we did was just made sure that this our logo, which is the indicator to EMS that there's data available for them. Um, that's that was our goal, was to provide something for them to visually see, and that has seemed to work well. It depends. I will tell you, Colorado is my number one state. In fact, they have Ride the Rockies, which is an annual bicycle event. They have about 5,000 riders, and everyone gets one of those in their helmet. So that's quite a Colorado there's Colorado, then there's everybody else. So it's that amazing out there.
That's awesome. I'll have to look for it the next time I'm out.
Are you in Colorado?
I am in Colorado.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
See,
That's really cool. I did see that on the website, so I'm glad that you brought up that little tip. What is the best and most effective way that riders can use the LifeSaver Medical ID and mini rescue kit?
well, one of the recommendations by my mentors is to make this a high vis orange. The other systems that I have, like for the hard hats and for the bike helmets, it's like a high vis green. But their point was, well, what if it falls in the grass? You're not going to see it nearly as readily. So I completely redesigned this pouch, and we went to orange. In fact, because of the input from my mentors, from now on, all of my products will be high vis orange. So that's the impact that the my equine friends have had on the system, because it really truly to me offers the most visibility. So, and simply my goal is to try to universalize it in the the equine arena, in that perhaps the rider system, the rider pouch would go on the left side in a belt loop, and on for the horse we have the there's a system, there's a pouch that goes on the saddle, and that has the veterinary information on it, and the owner and veterinary information that would go on the left side of the saddle. And for the helmet, we have our standard motorcycle helmet system, which goes on the outside of the helmet. That one in particular is designed to make sure that if somebody comes across it, to stay away from touching that helmet. We don't want to induce any further information. So the information on this little pouch on the helmet says, "Danger, do not remove this helmet." So plus it has the EMS logo and so forth. So again, and that's located on the left side of the helmet. So everything is on the left. So the my goal was to try to universalize that as much as I can.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about somebody coming across an individual or a rider that may have fallen and be unconscious and not know to not take their helmet off, but that's so relevant, I feel like, especially to equestrians, because if you're wearing a helmet, it should not be removed. So I think that, helping educate the public if they come across a rider is just as important as the medical information. So that's really
Oh,
noteworthy.
absolutely. The key here is the type of helmet that is worn by riders. It's not a bicycle helmet. The bicycle helmets do not really allow for you to get really good cervical spine stabilization. The equine helmets, because of the type of trauma, tends to be more of a wraparound helmet and really secured to the head. So there's a lot more involved in removing that helmet. The EMS providers are actually trained how to remove a helmet. And also, too, if somebody takes the helmet off and it's left at the scene, it's important for the emergency medical people and the ER physicians to understand the mechanism of the injury by looking at the helmet. So that gives them a clue as to certainly the severity and location and type of trauma. So again, it's just there's a lot to it. It seemed pretty simplistic, but it's pretty in depth as to why things are done a certain way, why we do things our way, a certain way. So it's a lot of brainstorming.
Yeah, it seems very intentional, though. Everything is done for a reason.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, our goal is to try and get provide the optimum product out to somebody. And then you still, just when you think that you have a down pat, you find something that makes it even better. So we're always striving to take one more step, because look what we're doing. The life of every rider out there, every person that wears a helmet, every person that's riding that horse, that's an important person. That's an important life. That's a contributor to all of us. So we want to make sure that we can do everything we can to protect them. And when they get in trouble, we're there for them.
Definitely. So you mentioned this just after our intro, but the manufacturing and production is extremely unique. Can you explain how this process works?
Well, everything is made in U.S. and all of our parts come to what's called right now it's the Association of Retarded Citizens in near Pittsburgh. And all the parts come in, and then the workers there, they do all the assembly. They take the parts, they put them in a package, they weigh them. They do everything to get ready for shipping. And what we do is we pay them per part. And one quick story is because you develop incredible relationships with these workers. One quick story: there was one of the gentlemen that worked there was great fellow, and we would always razz each other back and forth. And every time I would come in, he would give me some grief, and I would give it right back to him. So one day he's at his table and he's using this. The way they did it was that they count per piece. They have a counter, a little hand counter. And so I walk up to his table and I pick up his counter, and they had like 200 and something on it. I said, "Oh, hey, let me set this back to zero." And I pretend like I'm pressing the button to go back to zero. And he says, "No, don't do that. Don't do that." So that's the kind of relationship that I cherish. And it has been so inspirational to me. People say, "Well, you're doing some great things for them." I said, no, you don't get it. They do great things for me. So, but it's been really wonderful. I mean, I could not do what I do without them. I mean, it's really wonderful for both. It's a great relationship.
Yeah, and it's neat to know that sort of camaraderie is behind this product that is also changing lives. So It's really all encompassing.
We like to think there's no losers with this, and also too, one of the other things is we do everything we can to try and make it affordable for really for everybody. We don't want there to be an excuse not to have this. That's what we try to do. So, but that's, again, it's all part of the mission.
Definitely. So jumping back into your personal experience, in doing my research, I found that you have a varied and extensive medical background. Can you explain why all of this experience in the medical field and having so much prior experience to creating this product has been beneficial to its success?
Well, I think that I see things from a lot of different perspectives. I did certainly military medicine. I ran battalion aid stations with the 20th Infantry Division, and for probably different levels within the division. That's the PA National Guard. I was in Iraq on a medical mission there with the 18th Airborne Corps, and it kind of gives me a perspective of the trauma medicine. Then also I don't do it now. I'm no longer doing it, but I at age 50, I graduated from the police academy, and I went on to be a tactical medical officer with a drug task force. So I understand that aspect of medicine, and you see a lot of different issues with side effects of medications and all that. And then I was in general practice for a long time, and then just there's a lot of different venues that I've done. Drives my wife absolutely crazy, the things that I do. But what I've done, I've kind of coalesced all those different experiences together to see what is it that I can do that to pinpoint something that is invaluable to the masses, if you will, that is going to have a slight impact. Even the slightest impact on their life is you don't realize just how life-changing something as simplistic as that, something very simple, can have on somebody. So that's been again a coalescence of all of the things that I've done into what is it that I can do best for those out there that kind of put themselves in a little bit of a precarious situation, because I've been there too, so and again, it's just to be a value, just to be a value to them. And it's really not rocket surgery. It's very simplistic.
Yeah, but it really seems like all of those experiences did really prepare you well in creating this product.
Well, it does. Everything is, we tend to evolve. You do one thing, then you do the other, and then and everything is a compilation of all your experiences, and you come up with an end product, and then you take that end product, and then you kind of disperse it in several different directions. And this is a new direction for me. So, and I'm excited about this. I love this this equine genre. I'm very excited about this group, because everybody's incredibly responsive, like you. I'm overwhelmed by the response with the equine industry, and my mentors are off the charts helpful. I'm not used to it. Nobody answers a phone. Nobody sends emails. Nobody does anything anymore. So they're so helpful. I'm thinking, what's wrong with these people? Why are they so? This is not normal. What's wrong with you people? So it has been a wonderful experience so far. And like I said, I'm brand new. It's kind of maybe the way to think about it is a kind of a new and refreshing and different perspective on things.
Yeah, I'm biased, but it is an exceptional industry. So I'll speak as a whole, but we are happy to have you a part of it.
Well, the proof is in the pudding, and this pudding is really tasty.
Oh, that's good. So Obviously, the LifeSAVER Medical ID and Mini Rescue Kit are very new, as you said, but are there any other new products or modification on the horizon from medical emergency data systems that listeners should be keeping an eye out for?
Not at this time, for two reasons. Number one, if I come up with another idea, I guarantee my wife will kill me. Number one. Number two is that I really want to focus primarily on the equine industry. I really want to put all my resources, it really laser focus, because I see the applications here. I see the impact that it could have. And that's what I would rather, I prefer to devote all my energy to your industry. That's where I want to go. You know what? You never know until you try. You have to. If you don't take the shot, you'll never score. So you have to do the best you can, and hopefully people will see the value in it and realize that what we do is really for their benefit. I wanted to give a shout out to my mentors, and they include Sharon Persky from Sharon's Horse Heaven in Marionville, Pennsylvania. My equestrian model is Debbie Kozik. I'm working with the Texas Equine Trail Riders Association, and Debbie Sandwalt has been a great mentor, as well as Diane Doherty with the Trail Riders Path here in Pennsylvania. So they have really been instrumental in the development and progression of this system, and they have been essentially invaluable. So kudos to them.
And I can't wait for your equestrian mentorship to grow as well, just as you continue to meet people and grow your community.
Yep, I am so pumped about this. I just can't wait to get out there and again and meet my new best friends.
Thanks for tuning in. Learn more about the Ask Annie podcast by following us on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest at Ask Annie Podcast. Have a suggestion for a product you'd like me to use in an upcoming episode? Email me at askanniepodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on any of our social media pages. Find even more Ask Annie episodes anywhere you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many more. The Ask Annie podcast is a production of the Equine Podcast Network, an entity of Equine Network, LLC.